Okay, so what do you get in the box itself? You have two sprues. There's two sprues of the Legion Astartes, and there's two sprues of the Solar Auxilia. Now the Legion Astartes have a command squad. Let me just zoom in so that we can show all this off, because they are very small. Very small. There we go. So we have a command squad for the Legion Astartes. We also have an assault squad for the Legion Astartes. We have some regular Legionnaires, so a tactical squad. There we go. So all the way across there with their little tiny chain bayonets, which are awesome. We then also have a... where are they? We've got some Terminators down here. Sorry, the sprue was upside down. It threw me for a second. So we've got some Terminators down here. We have some plasma, so some Legion Assault support weapons with some plasma. And then we also have a heavy weapon squad as well, with, interestingly, a individual missile launcher. So we're going to have to assemble some teeny tiny little marines, which is cool. And then you also have the dreadnought down at the bottom here as well. So that's on the Astartes sprue. Very cool. The detail is absolutely absurd. But let's have a quick look at the Solar Auxilia as well. Now the Solar Auxilia have two different command squads. So we have a Solar Auxilia command squad, and then we have a tactical command squad. The difference between those is just going to be how you make up the squad, what models are in there. For instance, this guy is in the tactical command squad, I believe, whereas he isn't in the Solar Auxilia command squad. But you do get the very cool banner. You then have some regular Solar Auxiliaries down here, some Venatari with the axes. The axes are a little bit big, but hey, I think we can forgive them that. I think we can forgive them that because the models are so small. It's silly. Like, how small would an axe have to be to actually show up an axe? But they have done a very good job of making all the different units very aesthetically different. And you've got the Flamer squad here as well, so you've got some Solar Auxilia Flamers. And then you have the Ogryn here as well. So the Ogryn are in 4 parts. So you have the legs, the body and head, and then you have the different arms as well. So you've got the drill and the saw, and then a sentinel. Well, 2 sentinels technically. So you've got 2 sentinels on the bottom of the sprue as well, down here. And very cool. And let's have a quick zoom in and have a proper look at some of these, because seriously, they are absolutely, it's absolutely absurd what they've done with this. I mean, there we go. That commander, the captain, and the banner. There are the assault marines. They've done a very good job. Like I was saying, they've done a really cool job of keeping the aesthetic for each of the models and making it very recognisable in the scale. So, like, what's the iconic part of an assault marine? It's going to be the jump pack and the weapon loadouts. So the weapon loadouts are like they've made a strong silhouette, so that definitely looks like an assault marine with the jump pack. That's clearly a captain. They've done a really cool job with that. The Legionnaires, like I was saying, the Legionnaires have even got this little chain bayonet on them as well, with the teeth, which is just absurd. It's crazy good. The Terminators are really nice. Here are the Terminators here, look. They've got the little, I think that's cataphracti, isn't it, with the little tassels hanging off the shoulder pauldrons. And then the Dreadnought as well. I'm a little bit disappointed that they've only got the assault cannon and the las cannon. I want twin melter Dreadnoughts, please, in tiny marine Dreadnoughts. That's just ridiculous. The individual missile launchers is hilarious. That's going to be some good fun gluing those on. Yeah, we will decide once we've got them built whether we're going to drill the exhausts or not. Vote down below whether I am mad enough to try. I know somebody who has already. And in terms of the Solar Auxilia, we've already said that the axes are an insane scale, but they definitely kind of do the part of selling them as the Venatari, which are fab. The Solar Auxilia, I think, just the regular auxiliaries, I think these are probably my favourite of the 2 armies at the moment. The Solar Auxilia just look so cool, and I think they definitely look better than They definitely look better in person even than they did when they were painted on the Warhammer Community website. So these sculpts just look so crisp and so clean. I know full well I'm going to get carried away painting them, but I'm going to try and kind of behave and paint them up in a reasonable fashion. I think he's got a... Where is he? I think he's got a telescope. Looks like he's got a telescope as well. But they're very, very cool. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about in terms of painting is how I'm going to approach painting these. And before I get onto that, in fact, let's talk about one other thing, which is very, very cool, are the bases. So these are the bases. You get a big sprue, big bag of bases, which are fab. I do quite like these kind of slabbed bases and gaming surface, which they are kind of promoting for Imperialis, so that like the larger models don't kind of fall over on rubble and things. So these kind of slabs are quite interesting. They are incredibly large if you look at some of the scale, like massive concrete slabs that they're fighting over. But they are good, and this I really like this little detail that they've done. They've made them half the size, over half the size, or under half the size, and maybe it's about half the size. They've made them half the size of a regular base, a regular Warhammer base. And it just gives them, it's just those little kind of aesthetic nudges that give them a fraction more impact on the eye. And I love that. I think that's fantastic. So these bases are really, really nice. They're really, really nice. I'm contemplating I don't know how many different sizes they're going to do of these, but I'm contemplating what it would look like putting kind of 40k models on these as well, because it's really, really nice when you get like a different, something that you're used to seeing, and then you have like a different version of it, and it's just a really nice kind of little nudge, if you like. Anyway, yes, painting these. Now what I'm planning to do is, and I've got one here already because I've had to re-record this video because it didn't record. Bad computer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my models and I'm going to leave them on the sprue. However, you can clip them out in certain ways. So if you clip out the bottom bit of the sprue, I'll show you on this bit here. So if you clip out the bottom bit of the sprue, let me just zoom back out again. Click, there we go. Oh, no. Zoom back out that way. Right, so if we clip out one of the rows, this will allow us to get access all around the model, and also not have to worry about kind of fitting them on the bases and everything like that as we go. So you clip out a row of Marines, or the Solar Auxilia are even easier because they are absolutely completely in rows. The Marines tend to have, like, so the Marines, some of them have something at the far end. So this, on that row they've got the missile launchers. On this row here they've got a missile launcher and a missile launcher. These ones here are like connected to the dreadnought, so you'll have to kind of clip out those three. But this kind of idea, this kind of approach is what I'm going to try and do. So you clip out all of those, and then the next thing that you have to do is just clip out all the verticals. And then once you've clipped out all the verticals, you'll have a really nice line of Marines which you can prime, spray, base coat, wash, detail, anything you like. So there we go, we've got two of them here, and then what we can do is we can just attach those to your model holder of choice, and then get them all painted up. What you could even do is you could put them back to back as well. So if you put them back to back and staggered like that on your model holder, then you can paint them twice as quickly as well. If you are going to do this, yeah, no, that would be fine. So one of the things I was going to say on this one is that if you're going to do this, because I would recommend, if you're going to start painting kind of any of this Imperialis stuff, like an airbrush is going to be a big benefit, in the same way as it is for Titanicus. And then you can do kind of like a zenithal prime up on this side. So if you do it from one side on this, then it will do the back of the back Marines, and then the same on this one. You've got two rows of Marines. You can do a zenithal from this side, and then it will catch the back as well. But yeah, that's how I'm going to do my painting for the Marines. But that's the Marines. What about the Dreadnoughts and the Sentinels? And also the Ogryn as well. So the Ogryn, the Sentinels and the Dreadnoughts are fine. We're going to build those in a second. The Ogryn, I think what I'm going to do with the Ogryn is if we leave the Ogryn feet on the sprue, and then build the Ogryn onto their legs. So you put their torso and then the arms on there. I think we can then paint kind of 2 Ogryn. Again, you can just kind of put those back to back onto one model holder and paint those up individually. I think that would work really well. And exactly the same you can do. I think the Venatari and the Solar Auxilia will paint up really, really well, kind of leaving them on the sprue as well, because you've got big long lines of them as well, so you don't even have the little kind of interruptions on the side. I think that's the best way. I think that's going to be the good thing to do. Yeah, the only difference is this one here with the banner. You'll have to not take out all of that vertical in between it. So I'd still leave that line there. Just don't take out that whole vertical. And I don't think it's going to particularly impact how much detail you can get in on the side of that guy, but it was fine. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. But that's the infantry. Let's get building some sentinels and some dreadnoughts. Be right back. here are the tanks. So we have the tanks, the vehicles. These are the ones which I'm probably the most excited about. I want lots of tanks, lots of Titans, lots of Thunderhawks in my Legion's Imperialis force. Here we've got the Predators. These are the Predators. Just move these ones out of the way so that you can see. So we've got the Predators here, the kind of Demios pattern with the round turrets. Just insane. They've got I'm sure they've got more little kind of forks on the bulldozer blades than they have on the on the full sized ones, but I'm probably wrong. And then we've got all the different weapons. Oh, this is insane. This is so cool. So yeah, these look like they're going to go together reasonably straightforward. You've got a top, you've got a bottom, you've got two sides, and you've got a turret, and then you've got the fronts are here as well, and then you've got all the weapons. Oh my word! I want to know whether are these. Oh, they might. No, they're not. Are they? They're going to glue on. I was wondering whether the sponsons are going to twist or something, but I don't think they're going to. But yes, you've got sponsons and everything around here. And all the different weapon options. So you've got the las cannons, you've got the heavy bolters. Have you got anything else down here as well? You've got the heavy bolters, the las cannons on the top, along with the auto cannons. Very, very cool. And then the next one, the next marine one, is also one I'm really excited to put together. This is the Sicaran, classic Sicaran. It's got the plasma accelerator down there, as well as the auto cannons as well. I mean, I love this tank. I love the kind of shape of this tank, so this will be really, really cool to build up. Really, really good detail on all of them. Again, look at all the lenses. That's absurd. That's let me zoom in on this for you. This is absolutely ridiculous. All the lenses on that. It's incredible. So yeah, we've got some cool things to build on all of these. And the other one, so they're the two the Space Marine ones, and then we have the Malkador and the Layman Russ as well. So these ones are the Solar Auxilia ones. Really, really nice sprues again. I like the aesthetic difference between the two of them. So this one has got lots and lots of rivets all the way around it. Obviously the rivets aren't going to be in scale, but they are very representative of like showing the different aesthetics between the two forces. So you got loads of rivets around this. I mean, this is going to be absolutely. It's going to look amazing when you kind of get some contrast or some wash on there to show up all the details. So that's going to look amazing. And then we have the Layman Russ as well, with a massive battle cannon. Look at the length of that. That's ridiculous. I mean, the Layman Russ is always like the weirdest proportioned tank I think ever. So having a front heavy tank with a massive gun as well is even more comical. But hey, it's all good. We do have the little, I don't know what they're called, little guards on the back, which seem to come on all the Horus Heresy tanks. Has this one got them as well? I think this one's got some kind of track guards on the back as well, by the looks of it. So we're going to get all of these built up, or at least one from each one, and we're going to start with my favourite, I think, from all of these, which is going to be the Sicaran. So let's get cracking with this one. Okay, right. Well, we've got them all here. We've got them all. They're so cool. We've got some which are slightly more painted as well, a little bit finished. You can see how long has passed because I've got like long curly hair now. But we'll have a look through some of them. I've done a lot of the Space Marine stuff. The Marines I think are amazing. I think they look really, really cool. The Solar Auxilia, not as much. I'm not as kind of hyped about these ones. They do look great. But like the aesthetics just not quite for me. I like just lines and lines of tank companies for the legions. I think is going to look really, really cool. Not so much. So these aren't particularly my kind of thing. So let's have a look at all of these instead. I haven't done much of the troops. I have painted one of, here we go. So I've done one of the Night Lords. We're not quite finished yet. They're really fiddly. The kind of the troops are way more fiddly than the tanks, and kind of trying to get the balance of how much detail to put on them, how much kind of chipping and highlights to put on them is quite a balancing act. And I tried the same kind of colour scheme as I've done with the tanks, and they look a little bit dark. I haven't done the lightning on them yet, and so we'll see whether the lightning kind of brightens them up a little bit. However, I have done, for the Night Lords in particular, I have done a lot of the tanks, so the tanks look really cool. I do like the tanks. And then the Kratos as well. We've got some Kratos, and yeah, so these ones aren't in the box, but you can get these separately. They just look awesome when they're all together. All the tanks are together, and then you've got the little Predators as well. The turrets aren't quite finished, so I've done loads and loads of the Preds. And yeah, the Sicarans just look fantastic. I think they do paint it really well. There are plenty of painting videos for these on my channel as well, so if you want to find out how I painted these, and also the Emperor's Children as well, so you can go and find out, and you can go and watch these on my channel as well right now, I believe. I think they're all up now as of watching this video. But yeah, they are very, very cool. I kind of have kept with the idea of keeping them on the sprue when you're painting them. I just think it's slightly easier. If we just zoom in a little bit so that we can see a bit more, you can kind of get them like it's much easier to kind of deal with them when they're on this. One thing that you have to be wary of is when you're painting them, so do the pre-highlight from this side. Just be very, very wary of where you're applying it. So apply it very what's the word? Deliberately. So deliberately highlight each one rather than just kind of spraying it as an overall. If you were spraying it from here, you'd kind of under highlight these ones as well. So be very precise and deliberate. I'm going to highlight this one, and then highlight them all that way, and then turn it around. And then do the same, because obviously you don't want to under highlight these, but they come out really well. I do like the banner. I think the banner is one of the kind of eye-catching things which is going to be on the troops. The same with the cloak on the captain. So I think the command units are going to look amazing on the battlefield, much more so than much more so than like little just regular troop units like this. I still can't decide. I'm sure they're going to look great when they're all finished off, but they just look a little bit lost at the moment. I think that's probably because like they need a bit more of a highlight contrast to them. So I think they need like that really, really high highlight just to give them some detail, because I think if you're too subtle with these, they just don't show up. The tanks, you can kind of get away with the tanks because you have the lightning strikes on them, and then you have the dirt in there as well, and they're just a little bit bigger. But for these ones, I think you really need to kind of push the troops in particular. I think you need to push the highlight contrast with them a bit more. But here are the Terminators as well. I'm going to do all the Terminators from the box are going to be Emperor's Children Terminators, whereas all the Assault Marines from the box are going to be Night Lords. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to be doing on those. And then this is just to compare and to show the difference. So there are the Emperor's Children, and then these are the Night Lords. Again, they're just going to look so good with the banners. I'm going to put some transfers on the banners, so I will you can probably fit a Night Lord symbol on there, and I might put a skull down at the bottom as well, and then the same with the Emperor's Children. I'll put the Emperor's Children symbol on there, and then probably a skull down at the bottom as well. The transfers that I've shown off in the painting videos. So you get all the legions on the transfer in the boxes of the tanks, the separate boxes of the tanks. I believe that's right. And then in the Legions Imperialis box, you just get, I think it's just Imperial Fist and the Sons of Horus in the Legions box. But you get plenty of like additional little skulls and things. So there'll be plenty of cool stuff to apply to the banners, and that'll be a really easy way. Same with looking at these as well. So a really easy way of adding detail and interest to these is just putting these tiny little transfers around, and just breaks up the panels. So to be able to do that on the banners is going to be great. And then the same with the little tanks as well. Look at the little rhino with the little wings on the front. Everything's little rhino with little wings, and then the Legion symbol on the doors. When you are putting the Legion symbol on the doors, then you can just get a knife blade and just cut down the centre as well, so you get that. So you get the panel line. You get the panel line mark between those two, so the separation, which is really good. But yeah, just little things like the rhinos look awesome. The rhinos look the little tanks just look amazing. I'm super excited just to get loads and loads of tanks on, loads of the Predators. So that's the autocannon Predator. There's the twin las cannon with las cannons in the sponsons as well. Yeah, they're just awesome. This one hasn't quite finished. You can see this one's still quite glossy. So this one needs the matte varnish and also some transfers as well. The issue with the transfers is that, I've said this in a lot of the videos, it's quite difficult to find a panel where the transfers actually fit. For the scale, like the transfer, where would you put the transfer? You're not really going to put an Emperor's Children symbol on the front. So yeah, I don't know. I might try and fit one on the turret. But yeah, fitting the transfers on is quite interesting. But we have there's a Kratos, an Emperor's Children Kratos, and then we've got some more of the Emperor's Children Sicarans here as well. They just look awesome. So having all of these, if we just kind of set these up and have these just sitting there looking fantastic. And there we go. So if we get them all, get all the tanks together, so you can see how they look as just en masse. They're just brilliant. They're just absolutely brilliant. So yeah, it's fantastic. Really good fun. There we go. Yeah, a lot of fun. I don't know whether orange is the right colour for the Night Lords Volkite stuff, but yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm really excited to get more of these done. Sorry for the hiccups. We've also got here as well, I haven't shown you these ones, we've also got the Dreadnoughts. So here are the Dreadnoughts, and this is the first time that I tried to do the bases as well. So I did use the new bases are really nice because they're really thin, and what I tried to do with them is add a little bit of kind of marbling to the concrete pads, and then add some sand just in various places just for some rubble, and then add pigment powders. So the pigment powders are the same pigment powders which I used on the tanks just to kind of tie them together. And then the same with the Emperor's Children ones as well. You can, so the transfers that you get in the tank boxes, you do get kind of small ones which kind of fit on those sort of scale, which is a little bit tricky, but they do sort of work. Again, trying to fit transfers onto areas is quite tricky, but yeah, it's all good. And there's another one as well. So yeah, the Dreadnoughts look really good. Again, just kind of scaled up and compared with the tanks. It is going to be one of those armies that just looks brilliant on the tabletop. Just like mass, try and really keep the the detail going on them. So work on the panel lines and everything. Try and break up the colours as much as you can. So like on the turret here, I've got the silver of the barrel. You've then got the black over here of like the recoil bit of the barrel, and then the turret is the pink. Yeah, so try and break up as much as you can, break up the kind of the colour scheme and everything, particularly with like the panel lines down here with the dust. It really helps make them look amazing on the tabletop. So yeah, fantastic. I'm really excited to do some more. Please tag me in your Legions Imperialis once you've figured out what legion you want to do. Obviously there's going to be some legions which look much more impactful than others. I think Death Guard look pretty good. Annoyingly, Imperial Fist look really good. I've seen my friend Rich do lots of Imperial Fists, and they're like, yeah, okay, looks slightly good. I do like the Emperor's Children. I think they look fantastic. White Scars are going to look really good. If anybody is painting Dark Angels, I'd love to see Dark Angels. How well Dark Angels can transfer and translate over onto this scale would be really cool to see. Yeah, please tag me on Instagram. It's at Chris Frossen. You can find me really easily, or on Twitter or X or whatever rubbish name it's got at the time. Yeah, please tag me on all of those, and drop me a like and a subscribe on here. I'm going to be live on Twitch for a lot of this week, doing some Imperialis stuff again. We've got things like the Baneblade to do, so we've got the awesome Baneblade. We're actually going to be giving this one away, so this is going to be a raffle prize. So if you want a Baneblade painted to quite a good level by myself, then come over to Twitch and enter that raffle. And yeah, thank you very much, everybody. I will see you next time for another Legions Imperialis painting video. I think we'll probably do some Emperor's Children Command Squad. I think that's going to be the next video up. So thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Have a really nice weekend. And like I say, please let me know if you're going to paint some. Tag me. I'd love to see them. And have a really good weekend. Take care. Thanks very much. Bye bye.